Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Mr. Z and Fifth.
Yes.
Zacchaeus, what up? What's good?
It was good. Good to be here. Good to be here. Oh, nice. Yeah. That's good to be here.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to say what I usually say. Welcome to Mrs. Z and Fifth with your host, Zacchaeus and the Fifth General. There we go.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right. We've been on a roll with some good topics, man. Today, I want to thank Miss Jennifer Lopez for inspiring this topic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As those who could see on the ticker on the bottom who are watching this on YouTube, this title, this episode is titled "I'm the Problem."
I'm the problem. Yeah.
We're going to talk about what that's about. That is, hey, in all of our failed relationships, when do we take some accountability for the part that we play?
Yeah. Right? Very hot topic. Yeah.
Because we all know that relationships take two. There is a such thing as one person doing something, yes. But if you have a pattern, we have to dive into how you could possibly be the problem. So we're going to get into that. We have a guest today.
Before you bring him in, before you bring him, you also want to discuss about because they had some women. I think I sent you a video, but it's 42. Sometimes we don't have time to watch an all 42-minute video, but it was about women that that don't want to cook, but they're quick to give up the pom pom instead of cooking for their man.
That seems like going outside and breathing air. Easy that is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of that going on, but we'll have to.
Yeah.
We can talk about that another way. All right.
Yeah.
I'll find a way to kind of blend that in. Actually, as you mentioned it, I'll find a way to kind of blend that into what we're talking about.
Yeah, because I think Ray was he's the one that sent the video to me, and he wanted to talk about it a little bit. But
yeah. Well, there's a way to kind of get into that with this topic.
Yeah.
All right. So, shout outs to our brother. He's been on the show. He's family to the show. You know what I'm saying? As many times he's been on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, our house is his house. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Bringing to the stage our brother, Mr. Ray.
Let's give it up for brother. Gentlemen, how are you?
How's it going? As always, we love having you around, brother.
Yes. Thank you. The feeling's mutual. I'm glad to be here.
All right. All right. So, we always love his takes, gives great takes.
Yes.
The subjects that we definitely touch on, pretty much anything we touched on. So we're glad to have our brother here today.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Can y'all see me?
Your camera's off, but we hear you.
We hear you, though. Yeah.
Okay, your camera's back on now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play this clip. We're gonna get right into the show. Let's go ahead and pull this up, and we'll get a word from Miss Jennifer Lopez. She was on the Howard Stern show. This particular interview has gone viral. Well, at least the clip of what she talks about has gone viral.
Ooh.
And we're gonna get into why it's going viral. Then also, somebody is trying to pull receipts on some of the things that she's trying to say, and I have an article ready for that. I'll see if I can get that up here on the Summer Jam screen so that I can show everyone.
Yeah.
Right after we get done talking about her. So let me find that. What we're gonna do? Is we're gonna get into Jennifer Lopez, man. We're gonna see what she was barking about. You know what I mean? Respectfully,
yo.
I mean, I'm being cynical when I say that, but but respectfully, you know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, right? We always got to keep in mind is that if you get to tell your story about someone, then someone gets a chance to tell their side too. I mean, I feel like it's only fair.
Right. True.
It's only fair. It's only
right.
fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you hook up with a guy, I don't know how a relationship could survive.
It's difficult to be under that, microscope. Yeah.
Does it seem like everything is doomed from the beginning? You know what I mean?
No, I don't feel that. I feel that I live my life very out loud, even though I was in the public eye. And I wanted to share my life with someone.
Right.
I want someone to be there when I'm having my big important moments on the red carpet. I want someone to be there, when I'm doing whatever, or when we're going to the store, whatever it is. Like, I wanted to share that. And so I didn't hide from it, and I spoke about it. And I think now, after what's happened in the past few years to me and to my children, I just feel like I want to keep that part so much more quiet in my life. And it's hard because these are big moments in your life. You want to share them with everybody, right? And you think that's okay. But the truth is, when you're in this type of career and you have the type of level of fame that we're talking about, there is a compromise. There are adjustments that you do need to make because it is a very blessed life.
Do you think you've truly been loved? No. And do you think you really have experienced loving someone?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
And when you can't get that love back?
What I learned, it's not that I'm not lovable. It's that they're not capable.
They can't love.
They don't have it in them. They need to appreciate the little person inside of them.
They little
need to love
give.
them. Yeah.
You've been in relationships with
and
people.
they gave me what they had.
Right. But
they gave me all of it every time.
But it's this much.
All the rings, all the things I could ever want.
Right.
They tried to give me the houses, the rings, the marriage, all of it. But
they didn't love you.
They didn't.
And didn't know you.
And I didn't love myself.
Right. It's tough. This is some journey, right?
It is.
And, I was thinking about your music. Most of your songs are about love. They really are.
They're all about love.
Yeah.
Ray, I'm going to let you go first, but let me ask a question. What does it say about someone when they say they give me everything they had, they gave me everything I wanted, but they were incapable of loving me? You have the floor.
Well, listening to that clip, it takes me back to something that I saw on TV a long time ago. There used to be a show on TV One called Black Men Revealed. One of the and one of the guys was saying that psychiatrists say all the time, in every relationship an individual has, what's the one thing in common with all the people they've been with? What's the one thing in common, all that those relationships? The individual in question. So if the same result continues to occur, I mean, at some point you have to question, is it strictly them? I mean, granted, let's give credit where credit is due. She did say she didn't love herself, which is very important to acknowledge. So, to say that they're incapable, well, all I can say is I don't know what the relationship status of every ex she ever had. I don't know what it is, but all I can say is if whoever they ended up with after Miss Lopez is still with them, then Jennifer Lopez needs to do some deep soul searching.
Hello.
Zacchaeus, I'm going to ask you this question, right?
Mm-hmm.
For context, I did pay attention to when she said she didn't love herself.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't give any credit to the husband's outside of monetary things she mentioned. She said they gave me the rings, they wanted give me this, give me that, give me that, right?
Right.
Although this is her side of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
She says that she was capable of love.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on record saying that she was able to give them what they wanted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they was able to give her what she wanted monetarily.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But how come she didn't give any of them credit for at least having some type of, like, she didn't mention any of them loving them. And the thing is that even though she's speaking her side of the story, the narrative is she loved, they didn't. And she said they were incapable. What makes someone incapable, Zacchaeus? Like, what does that mean?
And that means they can't love you. When someone said that, when she said that, I automatically say, oh, well, they don't know how to love her. They can't love her. Now, all 4 men can't love her? She married them.
Yeah. You mean 4 men as in 4 marriages?
4 marriages, yeah. 4 marriages.
Yeah.
Oh, like 4 marriages didn't love her enough. She said they were incapable of loving her. But she said that she said she didn't love herself, which is the biggest. The
7
biggest.
engagements. 7 engagements.
7 engagements. 7 engagements. And not one was incapable of loving you then. And I say this. When you have that much engagements, and she's been married 4 times, right? Married 4 times.
Yeah, she's 4 for 7.
4. Wow. So you have to ask yourself, sometimes you got to look at yourself in the mirror. Well, many times you got to look at yourself in the mirror, because you see, J-Lo and the men that she married, they had it. When it comes to material things and money, they had it. But you could still be soul searching. You could still have you don't love yourself enough, because you think it was all because, remember, she married them, and it was like because they have money, it's more like they had the money, they had it. These are she married Hollywood. She didn't marry nobody from the Bronx. She had married the elite actors, right? And singers, because she married the singer from Puerto Rico,
Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony, yeah. They had it. So she said they're incapable. I would love to hear their side of the story, because ain't no way that it could be all those men that she engaged and was involved in and married, that they're incapable of loving her. Maybe there's, because remember, some tried. You could try, but some people are difficult to live with. Some people are difficult to deal to have a relationship with. And when I hear that, automatically I'm thinking that it was no longevity. It was hard to deal with. And many occasions, you got, like Michael Jackson sing about, you got to look at yourself in the mirror, because where I went wrong. Not they were somewhere incapable. Okay, maybe someday it just didn't work out, but it's just that you gotta take a pause, take a nice long pause, and reflect on what went wrong, and where did I go wrong, and what happened during the course of the relationship. Because some people could be overwhelming. Some people, when they have a certain plateau that they reach, it can be overwhelming. But I mean overwhelming. I mean by just, they're just hard to get along with. They're snobbish. They're just, they don't make the time with them. They don't make it enjoyable. If I can't be with a room with you for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, then, and we're having issues, always irreconcilable differences, always issues, and that's what that makes it work. Because most of the time, some of these celebrities, they break up because of unreconcilable differences, I want to do this and I want to do that. They're self-centered. And when you're self-centered, and when you don't consider the other partner, if you don't consider the other partner, a relationship will never work. It will never. If you can't consider, well, before I make my decision, let me go discuss this with my partner, because when you're married, it's like you're supposed to be supportive of each other and trying to have an understanding, try to compromise, have an understanding of each other. And some people are just saying, just say, listen, it's nothing there to work out, because the reason why there's nothing there to work out because I want to do what I want to do. And I don't have to tell you anything. I'm just going to do it. And when you have that, you don't want to take accountability for your own actions. You have that narcissistic added mindset. It never, anyone you get with, anyone you deal with, anyone you marry or engage, it usually doesn't last long. It just never works out. It never pans out well. It doesn't work out well. It's always all about the compromising and trying to have an understanding of each other. That's what it's all about. And J-Lo, your sister needs to take a long pause and think that, and just look at herself in the mirror and say, maybe it's me too, not just them. Yeah.
Good segue. Ray, give me 1 second, because you said you would like to hear their side of the story, right?
Yes.
I got that. Let's go. One did speak out, right? One did speak out. So let's go to her first husband. Ain't nothing like your first, right?
Yeah.
His name, for further context, is Ojana Noah. Don't know if I'm saying his name right. Now, TMZ reports he responded on social media. He says, as I read him, stop putting us down. Stop putting me down with your victim card. The problem, it's not us. He's probably trying to say it's not us, not me. The problem is, I think he meant to say is you. He speaks, his first language is Spanish, so maybe it's the typing thing. I just want to get that clear for people. Her first husband's from Cuba. Yeah. The problem is you. You the one who couldn't keep it in your pants. Uh-oh. You have been loved a few times. You've been married 4 times and have had countless relationships in between. You have had good relationships. For me, as an example, let's scroll down. I was in love with you. I even moved out of state. Hey, fellas, y'all able to see this too? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. I even moved out of state, leaving my job, my family, friends behind to support you, to love you, to protect you, and care for you. I'm an amazing, loving person, great human being, honest, faithful to you, never lied, never misbehaved, never cheated on you. I was good for you. I'm too good of a man for you. Now, Zacchaeus, Ray, remember I said earlier, you get when one gets to speak, the other person gets to respond. So because it's only fair,
right?
Ray, my question is this: although this is, we don't have any proof, okay, but this is why we can't just go by what one person says.
Hey, right.
Because of situations like this. So I guess my question would be, Ray, does J-Lo deserve any, let's say, empathy for not really telling the full story on her 4 marriages?
Well, I can't say she does. I think that what she needs and deserves, of course, is a reality check. And because, all right, look, here's the thing. Bear with me for a minute, okay?
Yeah, we got time.
anyone who knows me personally knows how I dote on women, how I've always doted on marriage and everything. It's easy for me to simply say, I never mistreated them. It's all them. But here's the thing. Realistically speaking, the honest to God truth is I did my best. I did make certain mistakes. And I can look myself in the mirror and say that, maybe I handled it incorrectly. I should have done this when this happened.
Yeah.
And in every relationship I had, including my marriage, I acknowledge that I did have a part to play in the breakup as well as the union.
Yeah.
Am I a bastard? No, I'm not. But I'm a human being. I made mistakes that contributed to the problems that existed and the eventual breakup. Now, what Miss Lopez needs to do is come to terms with that aspect. Even in the highly unlikely event that she may not be the cause of the breakup, as I said, highly unlikely. At least acknowledge the role you played in the problems that existed and the eventual breakup. Even if you happen to be passive aggressive, that's something you have to work on. Nip things in the bud in the first place, because when you allow certain behaviors to happen at your own expense, you're a contributing factor to the problem and eventual breakup, because it wasn't addressed in the first place. You let it pile up and pile up and pile up, and then there's a verbal or mental explosion or breakdown that leads to the demise of the relationship or marriage. So even if you're innocent, there is a part to play. Even if you are not the perpetrator of the negative actions, the part you play towards the problems in a relationship or a breakup was by being passive and letting so much stuff slide until the end, instead of addressing the problems and working it out so that nothing builds and there's no explosion. So whether you're the perpetrator of the BS or simply a consistent, willing recipient, both parties contributed to the problems and demise.
Zacchaeus, I have a question.
Yeah.
So her first ex-husband speaks out, right?
Yes.
Now, they were married for only a year.
Only a year, yeah.
Yeah. 97 to 98. I don't know how long their relationship was prior to actually being wedded.
Yeah.
But 97 to 98.
98, okay.
Ojana is an author.
Yeah.
Right? I think I read somewhere that Ojana, once he got married after her, he's still married to the wife to this day.
Wow.
Second one.
Did I call that or not?
You did, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So my question is this. Zacchaeus. Like I lost it. Okay, so he gave his response. Right. Do you think he's gonna get the same level of grace for his response versus the level of grace that J-Lo has gotten for the half story that she's telling about why her marriages have failed?
I don't think he's gonna get the same level of grace, because remember, the men is always the forefront of the blame. So I don't think that he's gonna get the level of grace. If from his side, I don't think so. No, I know so.
Right.
Although he even when you read that and I seen him saying that you couldn't keep it in your pants, I was like,
he's accusing her of infidelity.
Infidelity, yeah.
And and she just said, I don't mean to cut you. I'm sorry. I just
go ahead.
You know how we are. This is gonna help this.
Yeah.
He accused her of infidelity. He may be right, he may be wrong. She just said to Howard Stern, they were incapable. So if J-Lo, if you cheated on this man, you did not take not 1 ounce of accountability for at least that first husband in that interview. Why? Right. Because you're trying to protect your image. But at the same time, destroying theirs. That is disrespectful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zacchaeus. You finish your point. I'm sorry.
No, but sometimes we gotta face facts about ourselves, and we all bump heads. We all make mistakes every now and then. But J-Lo, now, when you say, I'm still hung on the incapability of loving her, because you could try as a man to love someone, try loving them. Like he tried loving. He said according to the letter that he read in the TMZ, he tried right. I'm loving her. He supported her. He even said that he moved as fast. That's big. When you can relocate to support someone you're married to, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
She may not interpret that as so to us men, that's love in a form of sacrifice.
Yes. Yeah.
That may not interpret to her as love, because women, sorry, Zacchaeus, but this is just gonna help everything.
Yeah.
Women interpret love differently from men.
Right.
You, sir, are a married man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You protect your wife and your children.
Yes.
You love your children. You respect your children.
Yeah.
You love your wife.
Yeah.
Okay? You do all of these things.
Yeah.
What I'm describing is how a man loves.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So to many women, they may just only interpret that as just duty. But keep in mind that there is duty, there's love in duty.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah.
There is. When a woman is providing acts of service to her husband, as a husband, we're interpreting that as love as well.
Of course, yeah.
Acts of services also could be duty as well.
That's what about the love, yeah.
You respecting me, we can interpret that as love as well.
Mm-hmm.
So her interpretation of the love that her husbands gave her, she may just say, well, you know what? I don't know if I could call that love. I mean, they were just doing what a man does. You get what I'm saying, Zacchaeus?
Yeah. But
so that's why it's unfair for her to say that they weren't capable of love, because I bet you if we talk to Ben Affleck, if we talk to Mark Anthony, if we talk to Chris Judd, and if we talk to Ojana, they can say everything that the things that they did for her.
Oh yeah.
And they can say how they loved her.
Oh yeah.
And they would be correct in that. But the fact that she's looking at that is different, and it could be because she didn't like the question.
Right.
She was very, as you can see, her body language. She was uncomfortable.
Didn't
with that question? How it answered her?
Didn't Ben Affleck marry her twice?
No.
They wedded once, but they were engaged twice.
Wow.
They circled the block after he divorced Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah.
He got back with J-Lo. And then they married.
Yeah. And it still didn't work.
No.
You gotta ask yourself sometimes it's going back, but they found themselves back in full circle, and he realized, this is it. I can't do this with you anymore. And some people, like I said before, maybe because sometimes when you dissect the whole situation, and I just read Johannes, right? Johannes' letter.
Yeah, Ojana.
And you could support somebody as much as I know some people's love languages are different. And you could support somebody so much and sacrifice all the and I'm sure he was not the only one that made sacrifices. Probably other people that married and made sacrifices too.
Yeah.
And to me, if I was one of the one that was, for example, married to her, or been married to her, but now I'm divorced from her and everything. To me, I take it as disrespectful because I'm like, I was incapable of loving you. Just put yourself in those men's shoes when she said that. Now, incapable, but I made sacrifices. I compromised with you, but you were difficult to deal with. You were not. Everything was about you. You were not trying to hear what I was trying to do. But everything was all about supporting you and doing everything, bending backwards, going beyond the call of duty just to support you. And then I realized that all this time it's always been about you. Always been about you. So now, as you sit here in the interview and you had all those failed marriages, all those failed relationships, and like what the brother said in the letter, TMZ, wait a minute. When you see people been married so many times and married so many times, sometimes you got to sit back here and just think about maybe the others and those men are not the problem. Is you. Because the truth of the matter is when you put all your work, all your energy into somebody and support them, and then when you jump to do something, you discuss it with them, they said it's a bad idea. They don't support you at all. So at least wait a minute. Now we're not compatible because everything is all about you. And that's why there's a thing called unreconcilable differences. Because now everything is about you. Forget about me. Yeah, and that's how it is. Why do you think so much celebrities break about unreconcilable differences? That's what it is. Some people get so much some people get so big-headed and so much into themselves. It's like you're just a squirrel in their world now. Yeah.
And if I may add to that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You also have to keep in mind, now I'm not saying this is the case for Jennifer Lopez, but it is definitely possible, especially with this gentleman's rebuttal, that you also have to keep in mind that there are just some people, especially in this case, there are a number of women who, as it was pointed out earlier, there are certain things that they don't see as a big deal for a man to make certain moves and make certain sacrifice. It was expected. And all right, see, that's the thing. You see, some people get the big head and they have a delusional sense of entitlement in thinking that that's what a man's supposed to do anyway. Even if that's the case, daggone it, show some appreciation.
Exactly. Hello.
Did you hear what I said?
Exactly. Hello.
Because the thing about that is, I think that kindness should be rewarded with some form of affection. If you too big to say thank you, you need to acknowledge the kindness that's shown to you. Even if it's what you're supposed to do, at least show that, at least verbalize that, reward that with a gesture somehow. Don't sit there and think that you are owed this. You are owed the respect you give, good or bad.
That's right. Checkmate.
That's right.
That's right. Exactly.
I have nothing to add to that because I was going to touch on that, brother. You were spot on. Ray, I'm gonna put the mic back to you.
All right.
When we look at and then we're gonna go on to the next thing. When we look at a person's trajectory in years of when they go from one person to another, it's fair to say that tells a story about them, right?
That's cool. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So let's go into that. She married Ojana 97 to 98. Chris Judd, she married him 2001 to 2003. Listen closely. Mark Anthony, 2004. I just said she divorced Chris Judd in 2003. Married Mark Anthony 2004. That was until right. That marriage was till 2004 to 2014 with Mark Anthony. Okay. Here's the actual break she actually takes of marriage, not engagement, but I'll just say of marriage because we know that after him was Alex Rodriguez, but they never got married.
Right.
She spins the block and gets with Ben Affleck, 2022 to 2025. Ray. She went from Chris Judd to Mark Anthony within a year's time. Do you think she learned or healed from that marriage from 2003 to 2000?
No, because you see, the thing is,
no, I agree, but I'm just saying it's just this woman is not taking accountability for her lack of self-actualization. That hey, maybe I'm too quick with this stuff because I gotta feel validated. And in order for me to feel validated, I got to get somebody else to marry me.
But that was the problem right there. That's why she admitted in the video that she didn't love herself, because her validation is based on the existence of a mate or spouse. That's why she kept on doing this foolishness. So, as I said, I give her grace that she acknowledged that she didn't love herself. And she should have maintained that onus instead of doing what narcissists do best, put it on the other person.
That's right.
Checkmate.
Hello.
Thank you. And I wanted you to touch on that because J-Lo and any other woman out there, why are you getting married if you don't love yourself? You have to take accountability for that. Because you can't just say, because to me, I'll give her a little decibels of credit for saying that. But to me, it's a cop-out. Because why'd you get into relationships? Right? And you have a problem with self-love. And then you try to get married. And then you say, well, they weren't capable of love. Zacchaeus. There's a connection here. Let's not go too far. She said, I didn't love myself. And those husbands of mine were incapable of love. Sir, is it safe to say the fact that she is unable to understand self-love and her insecurity, that she has misinterpreted and misplaced anything that she would know in terms of love from another person?
You gotta learn to love herself. No. You gotta learn to love yourself.
So right there, if a person who can't love themselves, how the heck would they know if somebody else is loving them?
Exactly. Hello. Exactly. Gotta learn to love yourself.
So with that being said, and I'm gonna give the mic to Zacchaeus. With that being said, I believe that woman got up on that couch and told a bald-faced lie. Because, Jennifer, you just sat up there and admitted that you didn't love yourself from the years of 96 to 2025. It's okay to admit that, J-Lo. But the problem is the fact that you said that they weren't capable of love. J-Lo, you don't know what love is.
This is why some people go jumping in and out relationships, because they're trying to find love and they realize that, wait a minute, I don't love myself. So I keep jumping because they're trying to find love. And they think they can find it in another person. And then they think they can find love in another person, but realize it got to start within you. You got to learn to love and appreciate yourself first. I can't love you if I don't know how to love myself. And it's
not only that, but you can't even interpret the love that is coming towards you if you don't love yourself, because you don't know what that is.
And I think a lot of people suffer with am I right, Ray? Fifth, a lot of people suffer with that, man. I mean, yes, they don't love themselves, so what they do is that they abuse the person in relationship with them.
Yeah.
They're self-entitled, delusional, self-entitled, and they mistreat the person that's showing them kindness. Why? Because they don't love themselves. So they're gonna mistreat you emotionally, and sometimes some mistreat you with abuse, physical abuse.
Yes.
So they don't know how to love themselves. That's a big thing. She said that. When she said I don't know how to love myself, she just described what she put them through. Now, okay, why you
hold on.
Okay, but you gotta think about it. When a person don't love themselves, they can put you through the ringer. When a person don't love themselves, they're gonna give you hell. And when you get with when you get with them, you wish you never met them. When you get with them and you're in the relationship with them, like what my father would say, just when you in a relationship, run for the hills. You run for the hills, because if drama coming your way, heartaches and pain coming your way, headaches are coming your way, because they don't love themselves, they will definitely not know how to love you. And that's a fact. All the kindness, all the chivalry, it doesn't mean nothing. All the sacrifices you make, because he said he made sacrifices. That's showing. I don't have to tell you I love you, but I'm showing you that I love you by support and relocating. I know to her is not a big deal. Relocating, but a person that doesn't love themselves cannot see that as love, because they don't know what love, like you said, they don't know what love is. Yeah.
Ray, you look like you have something to respond to that as well.
Go ahead.
No, just everything Zachy has said is true, and no, it really is. It really is, and
heck yeah, man.
You know, as far as that self-love, it's very important. It's vital. It really is, because I know what it's like to deal with toxic women.
Oh yeah.
I know what it's like, whether it be physical, mental, or emotional. You know, and I think back to myself, and you know, subconsciously and consciously, this is something you rarely ever hear from men. For the most part, I do the best I can to treat a woman the way I would want a man to treat my sister. So I think about, how would I want my sister to be treated in conflict or in the positive times? So I really thought about that, especially in my marriage. So I tried the best I can to be careful, but when you try to be a baby face and you get pushed to the dark side, you have to make a choice. So, and then you come to a point where you say, you know what? As much as I love my sister, if she's stupid to take a man to task and he don't deserve it, she deserves a tongue lashing. I'm giving this one. So I think about all that, and what I'm saying is to appreciate, to love. So it really does start with self, because you really wouldn't know how to properly receive and reciprocate if it doesn't start from within.
Man, y'all are killing it today, man. I don't really have to say much. Y'all are killing it today. Listen, I'm gonna switch gears off of J-Lo, but I want to get into a woman who I would say sounds like she took accountability for her failed marriages. I've played this clip in the past, and I'm gonna play it again. Zach Keys, you may remember it. All right, legendary actress, by the way.
Okay.
Miss Diane Carroll, God rest her soul.
Oh, yeah, rest her soul. Legendary actress. Diane Carroll. Yeah.
She spoke on something before she left us. And let's get into that. Let's get into that. I mean, this is a lesson that everyone should see, men and women. And I'm gonna speak very candidly after she says what she says. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely on our topic here. Okay. Why is it not showing up? Okay, there we go.
Was I married 4 times? Yes, I was. I confess I was married 4 times. And the reason I'm smiling is because I spent a lot of time giving the men involved in some of these relationships a very bad reputation. I'm not saying that I ever said anything that wasn't true. It was all true. Except that the reason that this one human being kept choosing selection poor, not able to evaluate whether this should be a friendship or this should be a marriage. I wanted to be married. And so when the opportunity was there to do so, I did it. I had not lived alone. Quite frankly, I didn't know how to do that. I'm not sure that I know how to do it today. But I did think that it was time for me to stop and try to answer these questions for myself. I decided to come back to Los Angeles and learn to live alone. I said I will learn about me, not the role I play. And it's difficult to learn to live alone. It's difficult because I'm difficult. I'm not easy to live with. You know, you have 3 or 4 choices here that will give you a terrible day or a wonderful day. And there's no one else to blame except you. Because you're here alone. You can't say he did this or he did that. It's all you. And you don't seem to want to make yourself extremely happy the way you wanted other people to come along to make you extremely happy. Nobody can make you extremely happy but you. I was an old lady before I understood that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
fellas,
gotta look. Yeah, she took accountability, and she recognized as time went on, man. She did. She realized that she put herself she looked at herself in the mirror. She looked at herself in the mirror and said, "It's me. I'm very difficult to deal with. It's me." And And as an older woman, she realized that all the marriage she married 4 times, that it's me. I gotta deal with myself. I gotta take responsibility for myself. I can't just put the blame on somebody like a narcissist. Just say, oh, it's them. No, it's me. I gotta look at myself in the mirror. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ray, let me get your response on that.
Well, that was very profound, and you can't get any more open and honest than that as far as why she kept on marrying. She owned up to it. She acknowledged it. And, this actually, believe it or not, it reminds me of something Jermaine Jackson said about himself when he was married to Hazel Gordy. He was on an interview where he said that he knew he was not easy to live with or deal with. He acknowledged that, and Hazel still married him. So, but the thing is, it's one thing to admit your flaws, but when you don't make the attempt to work on them and you think that everyone has to kowtow to your behavior, then that's where you ultimately failed.
Yes.
So I give the late Diane Carroll credit that she was able to look back.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you know what? And that's the thing. She kept the onus on her when she made her reflection.
Yeah.
She didn't deflect like most people do, and she certainly didn't deflect like most women do. Let's face it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And this is why I titled the show "I'm the Problem," because at some point you have to admit they got a problem. I will admit that there were the things that I've done in my relationships that have failed, that I take full accountability for the part that I played. I'll candidly say this. People watch the show, they know that I'm almost 40 years old and I'm not married. I'm not married not because there's something wrong with every other woman out there. I'm the reason why I'm not married. There are things that I have done or not done to why I have the results that I have today. And I work on myself every day. I'm not going to disparage any girlfriend, ex-girlfriend on this show. I wish them all the best, even the ones that did me wrong. It is what it is. I'm not, I will say that I'm not 100% the problem, but I will take the 50% of it, to be fair. Gotta hold her accountable, hold me accountable. And I want to give Diane Carroll credit, but let this be a lesson for women who are not even Diane Carroll's age when she said that. You do not want to be like Diane Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point right there. You do not want to end up like her. J-Lo is 4 marriages. Diane was 4 marriages. J-Lo is tied with that woman. I don't want J-Lo to realize when she's 70 that's the time when she's going to take accountability. And when she's 70 is when the self-love is going to start.
Yeah.
I really want J-Lo to get help. It sounds bad because it's like, oh, you're beating up on J-Lo. We're really not beating up on J-Lo. It's just the fact is that we don't think this is cute. We don't want women to end up like J-Lo. You know what I'm saying? J-Lo's what, 50 something?
I think so. Right? I think mid 50s.
Yeah, young 50s, yeah.
Yeah, so J-Lo's in her 50s, and then she's saying that 4 marriages, 4 men were incapable of it. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. I mean, Mark Anthony's probably somewhere throwing a vase. They were married for 10 years.
Yeah.
And had kids.
Right, and had kids.
Twins.
Yeah,
right.
Twins, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. 10 years. Can you imagine him seeing that clip? 10 years? Go ahead, Zacchaeus. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's kind of
it's crazy.
10 years. And after 10 years with kids, you're going to break up. You know, I really thought that it was going to, I remember when they were married, I really thought it was going to last a long time.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I thought that was the one that she finally struck gold on because it looked healthy.
Yeah, I thought that was it for her. You know, and they had, and probably, you know, Mark Anthony held on because of the kids. And still not enough to hold on to the relationship. Kids are never really enough to hold on to the relationship, but still, 10 years is a lot of time out of somebody's life. It's a decade, over a decade. So I figured that they would have lasted a long time, but even that, it just diminished. Just diminished.
But the point that I'm making is, you were married to you were married to Ojana for 1 year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you could say what you want with that because they were only married for a year, but I don't know what their relationship was before he proposed. But Mark Anthony, 10 years.
10 years.
And you put him in that bubble of he was one of the men that was incapable of loving you. You put him in his you put him in the same bubble as a guy you was married to for 1 year, another guy you was married to for 2 years, and another guy you was married to for 2 years, and you put him in that bubble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that right there is crazy.
Yeah.
You know? So that I don't understand.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know? Married for 10, but you give somebody 10 years of your life. When you give somebody 10 years of your life, you're giving a lot. That's time.
Yeah.
That's time invested. Right?
Yeah.
That's time invested. 10 years. And then you have children.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Children for him. They have a long history together. I think that was her longest marriage right there.
Yes.
But I would like to ask Mark Anthony personally what happened. I mean, like,
well, it's his turn now.
Yeah.
Right? So if he wants to, Howard Stern could talk to Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
Right? And they could sit across from each other and he could say, "Hey man, did you love J-Lo?"
And I know he said he did. Listen, you could try, but the key thing Jennifer said that really, really made you think, I didn't love myself.
Mm-hmm.
That right there.
Okay, well, he experienced her then, right?
He experienced
because in relationships, you experience someone, they experience you.
Yes.
Right? So what would my exes say about me? Right? I don't think that's something every man thinks about.
Right.
But that's the thing about a relationship, to be fair. Both people are experiencing each other, right? So they have a right to kind of speak their side if they want to. Now, Mark Anthony may say, you know what, man, I'm too old for that.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna pay that any mind.
Right.
Until it hurts his brand. And at that point, he has to speak up. I
haven't heard from him in a while, but
it's him speaking up doesn't make him petty. But the thing about what J-Lo said is that could hit someone in a career a certain way.
Yes.
There could be some biases where somebody is Team J-Lo in the industry, right? And they'll be like, yo, you know, as a matter of fact, we're gonna pick somebody else.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering why.
Yeah.
Because she had this interview on Howard Stern.
Yes.
Ray, go ahead. Your response.
I mean, why would she put that out there to prove what? What was she trying to accomplish? Is what I'd like to know. Was it an ego thing? Was she ego tripping? Is she trying to elicit sympathy? What gives? I mean, and that's why I say is like we're going to continue to acknowledge that she did say she didn't love herself. That should, if anything, gentlemen, that should have been in the forefront. Yeah, seriously, that should have been in the forefront in the sense of us trying to understand that by her putting, if she had said that first, then we could say, okay, then we see why she kept going from marriage to marriage to marriage to marriage, relationship, whatever.
Yeah.
Because she put that in the forefront. She put the onus on them, and then at the end, she talking this nonsense about I didn't love myself. You should have put that first, because then if you led with that, you probably would elicit more sympathy from those of us who saw that interview, because you acknowledge that was what led to the downfalls of these marriages and relationships.
Hello.
So I just think that the accountability factor needs to increase, and it needs to be done the right way, so that people up and coming who may go through marriage, relationships, and all that other stuff will have accountability leading into something that could be potentially positive and wonderful.
Ray, you're familiar with backhanded apologies, right?
Yes, of course.
So a backhanded apology for the audience is, say I disrespected someone for being fat, and I say, "Hey man, I apologize that you're fat." That's not an apology.
No, it's not. No way.
So basically, she said they were incapable, and then said, "Well, I didn't love myself." Well, J-Lo, you could have just left that part out.
Right.
About being incapable, because that's your opinion, and some will take it as fact. So, by my account, that can be deemed as defamation. Zacchaeus, respond to that.
Defamation of character. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, because listen, if I was Johannes or Mark Anthony or Ben Affleck, I would have took it as disrespect. Because I was
Chris Judd.
Chris Judd, yeah, I can't forget Chris Judd. I would have took it that way. Why? Because I feel like, wait a minute, I tried, girl. I sacrificed myself. Shoot. I sacrificed. I tried to do the best I can to support you. I tried. Shoot. I know. So Ray and somebody even say this. I loved you more than I love myself.
Yeah, I've been through that.
I tried to love you. And what do I get? When you sit down on the sofa talking to Howard
Stern.
Of all people.
Telling them that I didn't love myself.
I beg your pardon?
People of loving me? Excuse me.
I beg your pardon?
Excuse me. All the sacrifices I made for you. How dare you? Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
You know what? Imagine, I'm going to get the mic back to you. Imagine you're with someone, right? All the memories, all the sacrifices, all the sleepless nights, all the concerns, the worries, the success, the failures, the life, the time, the sacrifice, the passion, compassion, with someone for 10 years in order for you to hear in 5 seconds that you incapable of love.
Damn. Yeah, I heard you on the interview. Don't talk to me now. I heard you.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes for that quote right there.
That's why Johannes Kimmer heard the way he did on TMZ. He had to listen. That's why he said what he said. Yeah.
Ray, go ahead.
I mean, there's really not much to say after that, because No, because it's said by their fruits you'll know them.
Yeah.
And the way she went about it will continue to elicit responses, not just from her first husband, probably from others. And
yeah.
As I said, it was how she went about it. And you know what else? It's who she talked to. I mean, Howard Stern is a shock jock and everything else. I mean, he made his money and everything. But as far as having that type of conversation with Howard Stern of all people, then you really have to question Jennifer Lopez's judgment, not just in that, but in everything she did.
Hello. Ouch.
Wow.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen with that one, because I understand what you're saying, Ray, and I will give Howard this particular credit in the fact that professionally, he is a he has broadcasting and journalism under his belt. Okay, yes, I don't want to take that away from him, and you're not doing it, and you're not doing that either. But J-Lo didn't need this interview, or maybe she did. I don't know, but I'll just say, as the the shock jock that Howard Stern is known for, he's not asking the wrong questions. That's just her response, right? Because he's looking at her dating history and he's like, the public has been seeing you linked to these guys. What's the problem?
Right.
And in layman's terms, that's what he's asking. What's the problem? How come none of this stuff didn't work out the way you thought it would?
Mm-hmm.
And then she leaned with what she leaned with, what she led with, But it's gotta hurt, because I don't think the public would like it if Mark Anthony was the one being interviewed and he said that Jennifer Lopez wasn't capable of love and that's where their marriage failed.
Ooh.
He'd be crucified.
Oh my gosh. My gosh. Lord have mercy. He'll make all YouTubers make videos of him, man. And all
right.
Yeah.
I think Jennifer Lopez owes these four men an apology.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what that would be accountability right there.
Yes.
Right.
You
think she'll do it? You think she'll do it?
No. Zacchaeus, you mentioned earlier, so we're gonna have to rewind. You said that her interview also speaks on what she put them through. In the beginning of the interview, she said that she imagined her life with being in relationships where these people are there for her in her moments. That was at the beginning of the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Zacchaeus, you said earlier, and I ain't even help you with this. You said, well, it sounds like those marriages were all about her. Okay? I didn't hear anything, and this is with a lot of modern women and women from the same school of Jennifer Lopez. They never really focus on what they're going to reciprocate with. It's always about what I need. I.
Yeah.
You can't have a successful relationship or marriage like that. Okay? And Ray, you mentioned her narcissistic talking points. Oh, yeah. I spotted that too. But here's the thing. What someone does is also what they teach. And this is why I said I didn't want women to end up like Jennifer Lopez. And that I didn't want Jennifer Lopez to end up like Diane Carroll.
Right.
Jennifer Lopez is soon to become a Diane Carroll. I get no pleasure in that happening, but I don't want that for women who don't even have the life of these two to end up that way.
No.
That'd be a sad day. One of the things that we're trying to do in our own way, and I know some people watch the show, and I could be a little misunderstood. We're trying to bring people together, and we're trying to shun unbecoming behavior. We are talking about unbecoming behavior. This ain't no gender war conversation.
That's right.
If we could shun the unbecoming behavior and uplift the behavior that builds, that's what we need more of. So this is why we're talking about this today. This is why this show is titled I'm the Problem. Because as soon as we can admit we're the problem, then now we have to fix things. You deconstruct. And then you rebuild. You know? A lot of us have foundations that were built since we were kids. And then we take that into the world of our social life, and it goes into marriages and families. Sure. And when that part of our life is not fixed, we don't build, we destroy. And it's not good. And that's one of the things that we all got to check about ourselves.
Yes.
Ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I pray J-Lo really gets it right. I have no personal issue with J-Lo. I actually think J-Lo is actually, you know, I think J-Lo's actually not a bad person. Even with what she said, I don't think she's a bad person, but I think she's a little misguided. You know? And I do think that you know, she needs to heal, and once she heals, you know, she got to work on herself. I think I read somewhere that right now she's not even really thinking about like marriage at the moment. Well,
but this time she's taking a break. This time she's taking a break from it, I guess. And you're trying to get her mind right. You got to get her head right, you know?
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't want the reputation of being a slore, but you don't just get married because of that, you know? And, you know, J-Lo is still an attractive woman. So she's going to draw attention.
Yeah.
Even in her 50s. That woman, she let's keep it real. I'm looking at her on that interview. She looked good.
Yeah, she looked good for her age. Yeah.
Look good. She looked good. The looks is there. The mindset, though. I need her mindset to mature. Right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman in her 50s speaking that way. That's not a flex. You know? And young women, you know, sometimes they think it's a flex to speak like this when they're young, but it's not so funny when you're older. And Zacchaeus, I'm gonna ask you this because I love when you quote your mother. Mm-hmm. Can you please quote the phrase that she said?
Pick until you pick nothing. Ray, remember I was going to say that? She said that, yeah.
Hey, that's
it was
real.
very deep, but when you dissect it, it's very deep. But you know, you married somebody so many times, and you're dating people, and you're with somebody, and you're dating around, and you're getting married so many times. Give yourself a break, take a breather, recuperate.
Hey Ray, can I ask a question? Do you think also a lot of times when people don't admit their part that they play in relationships that it's you know, ego driven, it's ego based, like there's got to be some ego there to not admit that?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you're not a peaceful or humble person, and everything you do is based on ego and narcissism, then you will perpetrate certain behaviors and you will show lack of appreciation. You'll be expecting things without showing gratitude as well. So definitely that ego thing that has a lot to do with not owning your part. And when you're a person that doesn't want to do better and be better today than yesterday and tomorrow than today, it shows.
Ray, I'm gonna ask you another question.
Go for
it. In a relationship, to help the audience that is listening, what are the signs that someone can pick up on a relationship where the other half is not acknowledging the problems that they cause?
Well, I will say there can be instances where they're not aware of it. It happens. But after it's addressed, or after these reoccurrences are addressed, some of the signs are repeating it to either invoke a discrepancy in argument, or just to get back at a person for something they did, whether it was intentional or not. I think that when it all comes down to it, gentlemen, if you don't have a mindset of peace, you will either allow anything to happen, or you will perpetrate anything that will cause disruption. And the ultimate sign of that is when you're comfortable with this garbage.
There's some people that's comfortable in it, man. I mean,
Zacchaeus, give the signs. Same question.
Well, when the person they have no integrity. In other words, for example, the yeas and not yeas and the no's and not no. They'll say that they'll be there and they don't show up. They want you to beck and call them. And because whatever they got going on is way more important than what you got going on. And that's the kind of attitude that some of these people have, narcissistic people have. And they don't want to be held. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions. They'll do something and they'll have no empathy behind it. They'll say things. That's the biggest thing. They'll say things and think there's no repercussions. They'll come out of character. They bring you out of character. These people they just very rude, and they have no empathy. They only just think about themselves, and they'll come out and say certain things. This is why they can't have successful relationships, because they'll say certain things to their partner or whoever they're with, and they diarrhea at the mouth, and they think that, well, you're supposed to take that because they said it, and they have to realize that the world don't evolve around them. They got to realize that you cannot have any successful relationship. You can't be with anyone if you're always self-centered, always nasty, always just saying anything you want to say, and not showing respect to others, or you're not respecting the person that you're with, and you have an attitude. You have an attitude. I mean, for example, you look at the relationship, but it's always two sides to a story. But Ike and Tina Turner, you look at stories like that, right? Not that I'm not gonna put them on the spot, but you look at abusive situations like that. That person don't love themselves. The abuser never loved themselves, never loved him or herself. They always diarrhea at the mouth, and then they're quick to say, I'm sorry, but they're really not sorry. Because actions speak louder than words. And they do it again. And they do it again until you get to a point where you have to break up, because it's come to a point where that person is pulling you way out of character. You're saying and doing things that you can't even think that you would do. That's when you gotta leave. And that's when you gotta break up. Am I right?
Definitely. And to add to that, I want to say I think the biggest truth to an apology is improved behavior.
Hello.
The intent and efforts not to repeat it again. I know we're human. I know we're not robots, but to just give a halfway apology, just to save face and shut the other person up, That's not an apology. You might as well not even say you're sorry. You might as well not even apologize. The best form of apology, if you're going to verbalize it, is improved behavior.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. You know, I could also say to the mindset of Miss J Lo and women who are like her, it could also be that, you know, they treat men a certain way because of the lifestyle that may be afforded to them, the dating options that may come their way. So it's like, you know, the guy who's with them is like, oh, you should be glad you even with me. You know, because there'll be plenty of men who want to be with me.
Right.
And so that could be another reason why, another sign that someone is not thinking that they're the problem because of the fact that they think they're the best thing since sliced bread. You know, they think they're the cat's meow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm gonna read some lyrics by a phenomenal woman by the name of Beyonce. she has a song called Irreplaceable.
Oh, I like that song. To the left.
You know, and she says, you must not know about me. You must not know about me. I can have another you in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute, baby.
You must not know about me.
Yeah, I remember that.
Know about me.
And then she says, I can have another you by tomorrow. Then she says, so don't you ever think for a second to get to thinking you're irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable. Yeah.
Keep in mind, yes, that's a song.
Yeah.
But understand, that's a mentality. That's a mindset.
Yeah.
That is not a person. That is anti-humble spirit.
That's right.
Because a person with a humble spirit, I mean, well, you know, this song is about her getting her heart broken. So, I mean, you know, it's a little different here, but it's just the fact that it's still not humble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it won what it won. But the whole point is that, you know, you talked about humility, and I'm going to give my take on some signs also that, you know, that you'll see in a relationship that that someone is having problems, but then is not taking accountability for the part they played. If every argument starts with you said, you did, you was, you were, you are, you had, a lot of finger pointing, right? That sounds like a lot of finger pointing, right? Zacchaeus, right?
Yeah,
Right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And if the only way to resolve the problem is you need to apologize to me. Now I get it. There isn't such thing as one-sided toxic relationships. I'm not gonna seem like this doesn't happen. But if every time there's a problem, it's not gonna always be that person. You know, relationships are a two thing. And the thing about it is that a lot of people have a hard time seeing themselves. And you're right, Ray. There are a lot of people who are here's that word, incapable again, who are incapable of seeing the faults in what they do to someone. There's a lot of people out here with attitude that don't know they got a bad attitude. Sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
Right? That could be interpreted as delusion. Right? Because, oh, I'm not angry. Everybody else just makes me mad. Oh, run from a person who says that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and it's I think in that moment, you know, I wanted her so bad. I had faith in that interview with J-Lo. I wanted her so bad to admit that, you know, that it wasn't all bad, right? And that, hey, there were some things I learned from each marriage and each engagement.
Right.
You know, because that is also accountability too, because now you're basically saying, hey, look, I had lives and memories with these men. And we had good moments, but they didn't work out because there was just some things that came to a fork in the road, and a decision had to be made. Yes. Because imagine you're the men that she was talking about. Imagine the damage control now you have to do for yourself when you're in a relationship in with a woman currently at the time of the interview, or you're trying to get one. Because what's going to happen is now a woman sees that interview, and here you are, Ben Affleck, trying to get with a woman, and she was like, yo, J-Lo said you incapable of love. How do I know you're not going to do me like that? And think about it. He was in a long marriage with Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Garner has experienced him. Right?
Oh, you mean
Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. I don't see Jennifer Garner getting on interviews disrespecting him.
Nope.
And they went through it because at one point Ben Affleck had a bad drinking problem.
Oh.
Right? But I don't see her doing that. And no, J-Lo didn't completely just throw bulldozers at these guys repeatedly in an interview. I don't want to say that. But I'm just saying, like, when people are looking for good examples of how to condone yourself when you're not in a marriage anymore with these people and how you speak about them, you don't do it that way. You don't say somebody is incapable. There's already a narrative that men are incapable of love. That's a feminist talking point. Sorry, it took me about an hour and a half to say that, but that's exactly what that does. If you ever pay attention to this social media scape, is that there's a narrative out there that men are incapable of love. And J-Lo's saying this on a big platform because, yes, Howard Stern's show is a big platform, Sirius XM Radio. Okay?
Still doing it.
So the fact that she says the same feminist talking point, that's problematic. That adds fuel to the already lit fire that's been lit since Margaret Sanger, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think we're gonna wrap up the show.
Right.
Ray, I'm gonna let you go first. You have any final thoughts on just everything that we talked about? Take your time.
I would say, any listeners, take heed to what we suggest and understand that we condemn actions, we don't condemn people. We are all capable of growing if we choose to. And we need to learn from not just other people's mistakes, but from our own. And there are ways we can contribute to the problems, even if we're passive aggressive. I think that we need to take time out for ourselves by ourselves and work on ourselves before we incorporate another human being into our lives or allow ourselves to be incorporated into a relationship or marriage. We need to work on self, and so does our potential or actual partner, so that when we bond together, the problems won't be each other. The problems will be something we face together, minimizing any problems or conflict we will have with each other.
Zacchaeus, I'm gonna go before I get a mic to you. My final thoughts. Been a while since I've had a final thought. So when we talk about this topic, like I said, I spoke candidly. I talked about how, hey, I'm not married because of me, because for the men out there, if you want marriage, you have to apply yourself. That's the basic principle I'll say for the time being, without making my final thought long-winded. Obviously, you have to apply yourself. There are going to be some bumps in the road. There's going to be some women that you're going to try to seek out, and you're going to try to see if things fit. My brother Zacchaeus told me you're going to come across a lot of women, and some things just may not fit. You know, it doesn't mean that they're bad. You're just looking for the fit. It's not about getting the best woman in the world. It's about getting the best for you. You know, that's two different things. And Zacchaeus taught me that. He told me this in my you told me this in my late 20s.
Yeah.
Right? You've been knowing me for like 20 years, I think. So you've known me for a while. So, you know, and like I said, unbecoming behavior is what we try to shun. We want healthy relationships, healthy marriages. We want healthy, thriving families. You know, so that's what we teach here. And you know, I don't have nothing. I don't have anything personal against Jennifer Lopez. You know, I actually like her in a lot of ways. I just didn't like that about her. But I don't want women to. I want women to look when they're watching this stuff. I want them to see it as teachable moments. Everything is a teachable moment.
Right.
Everything. You know, and I want that to be understood. You know, I don't want Jennifer Lopez personally to end up like Diane Carroll. I don't want that for J-Lo, man. That does nothing for me if she ends up that way.
Right.
So I don't want her to come to the point where she goes, well, I'm difficult, and because of that, I'm just going to stay difficult and alone. No, I hated that Diane Carroll, that was her last moments on earth. You know, that had to be her reality. I'm difficult, and here it is. That's sad too. Yeah. You know, that's sad too. You know, I don't want that. No disrespect to Diane Carroll, and I apologize to the family of Diane Carroll. This is not to beat her up, but I would like to think that Diane Carroll left a jewel of knowledge in that video for people to learn from, in her way of helping someone. That's what I believe. I believe that she said that because obviously there may be somebody out there that may see that and say, wow, Diane, thanks for being honest. I'm going to do things a little differently. You know, I would like to think that she tried to inspire someone by saying that. If someone is actually thinking that far, you know, so the flex is not to be difficult. Do we know that if we're even pleasant to be around? That is something that I even think about. You know, regardless of the connections and friendships that I have, that people who I know who have love me and want me around. But from a relationship standpoint, from a marriage standpoint, am I someone that someone actually wants to be around? You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I have to do, and remain humble and ask for God to correct me in a lot of areas, because I'm not, you know. So this is a teachable moment. Knowing that, admitting that, hey, you know, I could have been the problem. Okay, but don't stay the problem. Also want to make sure I say that. It's not about staying the problem. It's admitting that you may have a problem, you were the problem, and now how do I work on not being
the problem?
Right? And then you healthy contribute to something after that is meaningful, that actually leads to something. And then you can actually inspire a generation, because the whole thing about the life that we live is not so much for us. The life that we live is also for someone else too. And that is to help people and to teach people, because when we leave this earth, we are dead a lot longer than we are alive.
Hello, yeah.
And that is something that we must remember. Zacchaeus, take us home.
Yes, and you gotta learn before you can jump into any relationship. You gotta learn to appreciate and love yourself. I always say this, that if you're broken, you cannot get into another relationship if you're searching for love and you don't know how to love yourself. It's always going to be a disaster if you don't know what love, you don't know how to love yourself and appreciate You have respect for yourself and love yourself. Enough said. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey Ray, let the people, let the audience know where they can reach you at, social media, anything you're promoting, anything.
I'm on Facebook under my whole government name.
There you go.
And you can find me on Instagram under the moniker Bannister Racing.
All right. Yeah. Zacchaeus, let them know where they can reach you.
You can reach me on my YouTube channel too as well. Zacchaeus Gospel Soca on the YouTube channel. With the Not a Live Word of the Day. Check me out. You can also reach me on Facebook, Wayne Backus 167 on Facebook. Also, Instagram, Zacchaeus Gospel Music, Zacchaeus Music on Instagram, Wayne Backus Gospel on Instagram. Also on TikTok, Zacchaeus on TikTok, or Wayne Backus on TikTok as well. So yeah, check it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all can reach me at the Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On TikTok, Fifth General TV, YouTube channel, Fifth General TV. Listen, share, subscribe. Podcast on iTunes, Spotify. Y'all already know that. All digital podcast platforms were available. Also, shout outs to the people on Audio Mac. I haven't neglected that, so shout outs to Audio Mac. I know y'all. I know we got a following on there. All right. Yes. All right. So that was it. That was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth. Thanks to our special guest, Ray, as always.
Always.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yep, yes. Always glad to have him.
Appreciate that.
He is like a mainstay for us. We're going to have him again because
we got
something we got a full panel we working on, and we love to have him on.
Yes. Great. So, looking forward to it.
We'll talk about that later. All right. And for the audience, we'll see y'all soon. It's another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth.